Good morning, everybody. Tokyo Model Detective back on this very, very grey and autumnal morning. These were those mikans I was telling you guys about. These Japanese citrus fruits. Actually, before, I can't remember when it was, this white netting was applied here last year. Before, this guy, there were like all these mikans everywhere on the street. But yeah, it's a really nice fruit. So if anybody wants a bottle of this yuzu sauce, I can ship them out. Right, rambling on again. Today's ramble is gonna be old Japan versus modern Japan and how things have changed. Let me start off by thanking everybody that's been watching my videos, my regulars, you know. Big shout out to Henk as well. I had a good chat with him this morning from Holland. And yeah, so this kind of interconnects into what and why I wanted to move to Japan. It all kind of started when I was at art college. And I know this is a bit of a cliche, but it was the whole animation and manga thing that kind of like spurred me on. I think one of the first mangas that I actually saw was Gunsmith Cats. And obviously you had the old school movies like Akira and Ghost in the Shell. But I was actually at art college and I was interested in a lot of Japanese crafts, such as pottery, tapestry, artwork, and all the partisan stuff, you know. Old guy here. And yeah, I was just interested by the old traditional kind of Japanese images of like samurais, temples, movies, all that old school stuff. And then I was also getting into a lot of like the 1980s stuff during the Japan economic boom, when technology was at its highest. You know, the development of bullet trains, tech, gadgets and whatnot. And obviously I was in my young 20s at that point. And I was just basically fascinated by the old historical things connected to Japan. And at that point I never really wanted to or I never thought that I would ever be here, kind of thing. And it was only since till I was at university where I got into it more by watching more movies and stuff like that. But like I said, never in a million years did I ever think that I would be living here. And obviously I don't know if I've mentioned this on other videos, but you know, I wanted to communicate. This is the time of MSN Messenger and MySpace. I wanted to communicate with Japanese people, preferably obviously girls. And lo and behold, I managed to connect to a lady, a young girl, and then things happened, and then, you know, I came out to Japan in 2006 Now this lady was obviously my ex-wife, and she was living in Kyushu, the south of Japan. And with all those expectations and things that I watched, things that I read about, because actually at that time I didn't even really check any YouTube bloggers or J-vloggers at that time. So I had no preconceptions about what Japan was in the 2000s, you know. So when I moved, when I visited here, I remember getting off at Fukuoka airport, and her mum drove us back to their house, which was about maybe an hour's drive. And I remember my first situations or experiences that I saw, and it was kind of weird because my image of Japan, just getting off the plane and within that first hour of touching down, was, can I say, rather strange. And what I mean by that is that foreigners out there, or people that are interested in Japan, don't really see the actual, I don't know how to say, like the countryside areas. You know, everybody thinks of like, oh, Tokyo, big buildings, neon signs, all that mad stuff. Oh, they see, those are those big fruits over there I was talking about, those giant mikans. And this is where the lemon and lime orchard is. So basically, I remember going down this very old motorway and seeing like little bright signs, and it was kind of weird because it was more like it just looked rough, man. And I needed to get some shaving foam because I didn't have any. I needed to shave, and the ex-mother-in-law drops me off at a 7-Eleven, and I remember walking in there, and they had oden, which is like it's basically, oden is like a Japanese winter food or autumn food. It's basically a concoction of vegetables, sausages, tofu, and other bits and pieces. And I remember walking into this convenience store, and man, it fucking smelled like an old pair of socks. It was like a weird, you know, when you move to a new country, well, I say move, visit a new country, you know, you pick up things, especially like sound and smell and other things. And I remember going in this convenience, like, what's that smell? It's terrible. And it was just horrid. It was a very rank smell. It smelled like somebody had died. And I just saw like these Barbie-sized swimming pools with these weird vegetables and food items floating on the top. And the liquid was actually this, it's basically like dashi, which is like a fish stock, and it's got a very pungent smell to it. So I was like, man, this is weird. And I bought my overpriced shaving foam and got some snacks and whatnot, and then went to her house. And the next day I woke up, opened the curtains, and it was an amazing view where she lives. Actually, with mountains and green fields, very Inaka area. Actually, I came here on Christmas Day. I landed on Christmas Eve. So it was kind of weird landing in Japan for the first time on Christmas Day. It's the first time I've been out of the UK for Christmas. So it was very strange. Selling stuff. So yeah, it was great. And I think when I was walking in her area, there was some like old shrines and whatnot, old things like that, and it was great. Like, that's how I imagined Japan to be, so to speak, because, you know, that's what I'd read in the books, that's what I envisaged, especially with like the whole ninja thing, samurai thing. And then we went to Tokyo, and I was, yeah, it's all right, it's great, you know. I'm from a small town in the UK, a small village, so I'm kind of used to just being in the country, green fields, trees, all that shit. When I went to Tokyo, it was rather weird because it was just concrete and people and just fast pace, and I was like, okay. And my initial thought was, I wasn't really blown over by it. I was more blown over by the fact that I'd visited Oita as well, which is in the south, which is near the sea. There's some traditional things out there. And I just found that more interesting than just tower blocks and other crap like that. Which, of course, you know, many of the young people there watching me now are probably into all that kind of thing. Not me. Wasn't really that bothered about it. And even to this day, I'm not bothered about it. So when I'm talking about old Japan versus new Japan, old being the countryside and new being the cities, for me, it's like, even with my current mother-in-law, you know, she's getting on a bit, and she's still from that era of like the 70s, 80s, where, you know, things in Japan were very simple. You know, people lived not like, you know, more this modern tech that we're all being bombarded with. Just simple living, simple life, simple food, just simple, nothing pretentious whatsoever. My mother-in-law, my wife's family, are working class. They're proper old school, you know, and they're down to earth, working class. Like me, I'm from Yorkshire, right? And that's what Yorkshire people are like. And the issue is that right now is that the young people now are being educated more, I would say. Okay, across the road. Oh, he's done a red. People now have so much access to what life goes on here, and me being a J blogger, which I don't like that term anyway. I'm just reporting shit, news and crap like that to you guys, possibly new viewers that may watch my channel. Is that I'm talking about shit that's like real, yeah, and my own experiences. I'm not one of these channels like some of these other YouTubers that make Japan look all pretty and they sugarcoat stuff and, oh, I'm off to try the new autumn Starbucks coffee, and I'm gonna play some crane games and just talk absolute nonsense, and they don't really get down to the nitty-gritty of things, because They want to protect their channel, so to speak, or they want to protect their monetized bullshit and cream in the money, which is, you know, it's their choice. They can do whatever they want. It doesn't really bother me. This car's illegally parked. See, this is another thing why I film, to show you guys my daily route to work. May I add, off topic, is I've started to walk to work, walk to the station, and I'm not joking, man. I think I've lost a little bit of weight. As you know, my job is more, I do a lot of desk work, so I'm sat on my ass all day, and it's just good to get some exercise in. You know, an hour a day walking is really good for me. Here's another chain, Mr. Donut. More Americanized junk food, which you know, no offense to you Americans, but that's a whole nother thing I could talk about. Is the whole aspect of the Americanization of Japan and how it's affecting this country in terms of the diet. Like for example, you know, you've got KFC out here. I don't know if I can film in here, I've got to be real careful, but there's a Colonel, greasy chicken, chips, big size. Look, I have a lot of American friends. Some of you guys are viewers. I have nothing against America or whatever. I think the whole world in itself has become, you know, it's become Americanized anyway. You go to any city in the world, Madrid, Paris, Melbourne, Hong Kong, Beijing, Bangkok, there'll be a McDonald's, there'll be a Domino's, there'll be a Starbucks. It's not just happening over here. So what I'm saying is, with the younger people watching these videos, is basically you guys are getting more educated right now about coming here than I was back in the early 2000s, because now people are coming out the woodwork and making videos, which is, you guys are sort of lucky, man, really lucky. So what I'm saying is, right, the modern day life here, most of you guys out there will have this image of, you know, everything's like anime, manga, I'm gonna build Gundam kits every fucking day and all that mad shit. In actual fact, modern day living here is kind of brutal, because, I mean, I don't have enough time on this video to talk about it, but I'm mainly concentrating on about the whole work aspect, time, money, finances. You know, we're not living in Edo style Japan. We know we're not like walking around in fucking kimonos and enjoying ourselves out here. Gaijins here are struggling right now. The preconceptions of life out here are very different. You know, there are a lot of things out here that are slowly dying off, especially when it comes to like crafts, like tapestry, carpentry, blacksmiths, artists and stuff like that. You know, it's all slowly dying off, because modern day Japan is not like, this is another weird thing that it happened to me the other day with my co-worker. We have a thread on our chat about like recommended horror movies, so I wrote a list of all the movies that I like, and he was like, fucking hell, man, I didn't even know these films existed, and they're all Japanese. They were made in like the 1990s, and it's like, That happens a lot, man. There are some things that I can talk about to Japanese people that they will not know about. Books, artists, things that they don't know about, because everybody has this preconception that all people read comic books and play video games. It's look, it happened to me, and I'll admit that it's nothing like that at all. I'm sorry to dream crush you guys. It's not like that at all. And another thing as well, there are a few people out there that come out here to get into their hobbies, which is great. So like, I have a friend called Adam Jones. He's got his own bonsai nursery now. He's graduated as a bonsai, how do I say? He's just graduated as a practitioner, so to speak. He now owns a really beautiful house, and he's got a really nice garden and stuff like that, which is great. There's a few people that have studied ninjutsu. You know, some people have got their own dojos now in Australia and America. You know, people have fulfilled their hobbies and got made businesses out of it. But don't think you can come here and like think that you're gonna be, well, I'm not saying you can't, but with today's economy and how money works out here, I want to go traveling around Japan and do photography. Good luck with that. I want to go around Japan. I want to do karate every fucking day. Well, good luck with that. The reality of it is, you need to feed yourself, pay bills, pay taxes, and do all the mad shit. And you have maybe 1 day a week, 2 days a week if you're lucky in today's economy to survive. So this whole image that you're going to come out here and pursue your own Japanese fantasy of you doing hobbies and stuff, be warned. Be warned. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying people that want to do that stuff like don't do it, but what I'm just saying is that it's the time aspect. Are you going to have time to do that? There's so many things like I haven't done yet over here, especially when it comes down to traveling, because traveling is actually very expensive out here. Even for Japanese people, they can't go traveling or going on holiday every fucking week. There's no money. It's expensive. You know, pursuing your own hobbies, it's like time, guys, time. With the current situation now in this country with work, is that wages have declined for English teachers depending on where you're going to be working at. To give you an example, when I was living in my old apartment, I was working maybe 7 days a week, and I was working up to, so my schedule was basically I would get up, get to work for about 8 AM, do my school gig, finish 4:30, get back to this location round about 5, 6, and then I would do private lessons for a company. And I was working up to about 8, 9, 10 o'clock every day. Did that for 2 years because I needed to pay bills. And then that's when I met Yukari, and she was like, you need to like cut down your work because you're gonna kill yourself, quite literally kill yourself, because it's just too much. I had zero time. 7 days a week, guys. Like even on Sundays I was hustling money all the time. And that was just to make ends meet, so to speak. And this is what happens when people come here, is that they come here thinking that the wages are really good. They're actually quite not. They're actually, the wages here are terrible. I will do a video on calculations of cost and how to survive out here. But you the weird thing what happens, yeah, they have a really weird system out here. And like I said, you come off the plane, you don't know what the fuck the laws are, you don't know how things work. So what happens is if you come here, you don't have to pay any taxes. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And basically they have this weird system of paying back taxes and being stung for medical insurance. Now what happens is you have a 2-year time frame where you don't get billed. So I remember one day when these bills came through demanding money, I was like, what the hell's this? And I was paying like up to, like per month, average about 20,000 yen, 30,000 yen, it's about $300 of taxes. So without me knowing and not doing my research, I didn't save any money for that 2-year period. So when these bills came through, I was like, oh my God, man, this is fucked. Because you live in the high life. You just moved here. You've got some decent money coming in, full wage without being taxed, only workers' tax. Going out every week, partying, going to Shibuya like 2 days a week. Going out, splashing money left, right and centre, being the big man, Billy Big Bollocks. And yeah, those bills come in, and then that's when you see like how the living situations can change dramatically. And my only advice to people out there is just save your money. When you come here, you won't be told about this. Now the next issue that I have, and this is connected to modern day Japan, this isn't the economic bubble boom of the 1980s. So prepare to be taxed. Prepare to be taxed like a madman. Demon Slayer, it's a new anime series. They're going really hard on this promotion right now, man. Look at these weird mask things. What the hell? I want to get a pair of these. Strange. Yeah, this character's pretty crazy. I'm going to see if I can little Kappa-san there, look, warning kids not to litter and jump in that horrible water. So yeah, all I'm saying is if you are coming out here, money's tight, money's not how it used to be. Don't expect coming to Japan you're going to be Billy Big Bollocks and living the dream. Save your money, it's my only advice. Save it for a rainy day. Now how this works is their system is really weird because they base the tax on 2 years previous. So let me give you an example. Imagine you work in a job, you're getting 3 million yen a year. Let's say you're getting $3,000 US per month. You're on 3.5 million a year. The following year, you lose your job. Oh shit. The tax payments are based on that financial year of when you were earning 3 to 3.5 million yen. right? You get a new job. Your new yearly wage is 2.5 million yen. Oh dear. So what happens is, people at Lotteria, what happens is you get fucking taxed, yeah, on the fucking previous year. You guys know this spot. It's one of my favorite spots to blog. You get taxed on the previous year. It's fucking bonkers, right? The Ramblers. Ayo. Yeah, so basically you get charged tax based on your last year's wage. So you're earning less money in the current year, but you're forking out money for last year when you were on better wages. So a lot of people in Japan get fucked up by this, even foreigners. It's something that you guys need to know if you ever want to come out here. Which makes living even more of a struggle, because now you're really tightening up the belt, so to speak. You can't go out as much, you can't buy your little anime figures or your Gundam kits. It becomes a real problem. And then I remember one day I went there and I actually was totally angry at the ward office, because I said, look man, you guys expect me to pay this with your stupid like weird contracting system of 1 year I get delinched. It's mad. I think out in the UK, and mistake me if I'm wrong, you know, we get calculated the tax I think from every month. I might be wrong, but modern day Japan, guys, this is the reality of it all. I've spoken to many Japanese people that, and I asked them this. It's one of the things that really interests me the most, because again, like I've said in the beginning of this video, the 1980s were like a prime time for like tech and animation and everything like that. What was it like living through that heyday? Now the other thing I'll talk about is when the economy crashed back in the mid 80s, early 90s maybe, a lot of these salary guys were in high paid jobs, and I mean high paid. Like these guys had status, they had good positions within their work companies. What happened was all that crashed. All those, not every salaryman, but most people became homeless, because out over here it's kind of a disgrace to lose your job, not earning the money to like take your kids to like top end universities or high schools. You can't buy that Merc, you can't buy that Bimmer. It's a disgrace. So many of these salarymen are now homeless. They've basically disbanded, they've divorced. Really sad times. There's been a few times where I've been in Tokyo and I've had chats with like homeless people. I do buy homeless people like cupsakis and stuff. I like chatting to homeless people out here. It's kind of interesting. And one particular guy was a guy that I met in Akihabara, where all the toys and all the animation electronics things. And I got chatting to this guy and he was telling me that he had 2 kids, and he was like, he was a salaryman, business guy, and yeah, things just went tits up, and he had to leave his family, which is incredibly sad. But it's something that they do out here. I'm not sure if it happens now, but this is what was happening through that heyday. But I know now that a lot of these workers, they basically stopped doing overtime out here. It's all unpaid. They've actually told these Japanese guys to like leave work because we can't pay you anymore. We don't have the funds. So there's a big drop in money out here. And obviously, as you know, there's always a divide in social strata, right? Rich become richer, poor become poorer. Believe it or not, and you might not see this, but Japan is always classed as like middle class or upper class. But they actually have lower class people, especially people that live in like really bad areas in Osaka. There are people that live in this town that can barely like live. People are just fighting every day just to keep their head above water, you know, and it's not easy. I'm currently now gonna head to the ATM to see if my wages have come in. So it's payday today, I think, maybe, because I have no money. I need to get some money for the train. Let me pop into here and then I'll get on to the next segment.